but.
I think it was
something.
37.
37.
Big
and a half.
audience today.
Yeah.
Start.
All right. Are we back? Are we in business? Ernest, oh yeah, we got live from St. Joseph.
Check 1, 2. Okay.
Oh,
Just want to make sure everybody's on board.
all right, 8:30. Welcome. We'll call this meeting to order. I was thinking maybe we should hand out name tags since we haven't seen each other in so
Well,
long.
we
Yeah,
kind of,
like who is who? Maybe look at your things. There, right. We know who everybody is now, so we should introduce ourselves, Chris. Okay, very good. Well, listen, welcome. Thank you for taking your morning today to meet with us. First order of business, we'll approve minutes from the June 1 meeting.
So moved.
So moved. Any comments? Anything? Adjustments? Tweaks? I know it's a long ways to remember back to. Oh, we need a seat. Hold on a second.
Brian.
Let's grab, no, we could, Tam, we can grab, there's a chair over there.
Tammy, here's one.
Yeah. You got to get the big chair. You got to get that big, you know, that's right, right. All right. Oh, here we go. All right. Wow, full house here today.
full house.
Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
that's right.
We're all very excited.
We were all jonesing for another meeting, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got any comments on the minutes, any adjustments, anything we need to do there? No?
Brian, oh, there was no second yet.
Second, Chris, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, abstentions? Okay, minutes. Financial reports. So yours truly has been meeting with this esteemed treasurer, going through the financial reports. So you have in front of you what I was hoping to get to in the financial reports. So let me walk you through this real quickly. I'll do this once. I know before your eyes glaze over. So if you look at the page numbers, I'll go through this real quickly. So page 8 is the current year budget. Now, at the moment, this is actually the final numbers pre-audit for last fiscal year ending in June. Okay, so that's the summary of our current budgeted activity and actual spending. The next pages 9 through 14 are actually the detailed spending that supports those. So if you had a question about, oh, what's in operating supplies, it'd take you a little doing to kind of scan through the detail, but you could find out what's all in that $20,000 actual spending for this year. The next page 15 is actually a capital project summary. So this is the original, you remember this $200,000 a year that we've got. This is the spending in the current year against that. And again, the page, let's see, page 16 then is the detail of what that spending was for. It shows, in this case, it's Fairmont Sign and Corbin Design. So you can see what that spending was for. If you go to page 18, that's actually historical spending on the capital project fund. So you can see they're going all the way back to the fiscal year end at 6/30/21. You can see the spending by year, and you can see that accelerated over time, and that was primarily due to all the wayfinding activity. So that's what that summary is. And then last but not least is our balance sheet, how much cash we have, what the fund balance is, and if we have any open accounts payable. So this is the format we will use going forward. If you've got questions or ideas or suggestions, what have you, let us know and we can take a look at that. But I think this lays out both our current year activity and capital project activity in the right amount of detail so we can assess that on a monthly basis. So just looking at, I guess I would look primarily at page 8, which is the current year's activity. And again, this is the full fiscal year. You can see our spending is basically right in line with our budget. There's nothing unusual there that I could see. And it shows what our fund balance is. Of course, this is subject to audit. So there might be a few tweaks to this. I doubt there'll be anything substantive. but there might be a few tweaks, and you can see there what our ending fund balance will be in the 67,000 range, which interestingly enough is about a year's spending. So,
Tom,
yes,
as
please.
a non-spreadsheet person, these are very easy to read and very helpful. Thank you.
These are, okay, well, good. That was kind of the objective here. That's what I was trying to get to. So, yeah, I mean, I think our focus is on the current year activity. And of course, if we have any capital, the capital thing is going to kind of, I don't know, dissipate. Is that fair, Kelly? That we finish up all the wayfinding and all that. That's going to kind of go by the board. So our focus will really be on our current year's activity. And next month, we'll start the new fiscal year while we're awaiting the last fiscal year to get closed out. So, okay,
I had two questions, Tom.
please.
One, and I forgive my ignorance, seems like I should already know this, but
Okay,
interest earned on what?
we have
We have a corpus of some sort?
we have a bank account. I'm assuming this is interest on our bank account, yeah, because we have a cash balance sitting
Yeah.
out there.
That just seems like a lot of
It
interest
does,
earned.
yeah,
So-
that's a good question. We could look into that. Kelly,
Page is
maybe.
that
let's-
on?
maybe
I'm not
take a look.
complaining. Page 8, right
We'll-
at the top.
Yeah, we'll
Left column says
take it.
amended budget, and then
Yeah,
the fourth line
Probably right
down,
about 5%.
interest earned $3,800. That must mean we have
Is that about? in
We
the
have money
5%
somewhere
range?
that-
yeah, we
earning
got
interest on.
60-some thousand in the cash balance. I'm gonna guess this is probably some kind of allocation of interest to us.
I will find out.
I would
Just
guess,
curious, yeah.
yeah.
And then the second question is, fund balance. So currently, we have roughly 100% of our current spending.
Right.
And I guess the question is, what's the best practice for a DDA? 100% seems high to me.
Yes.
My experience is 50-ish. I'm looking at Andrew a little bit because you do a lot of these.
I,
Is more common.
in a not, what I was gonna say, in another nonprofit that I'm involved in, we actually tried to target a full year.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
was-
and it
well,
varies.
And it varies, right?
Yeah,
of course.
every
You know, I don't
organization's
know.
a
Yeah,
little
everyone's
different, but I
We-
just
we-
don't know if we have a target.
We've dipped into this in the past, and I suspect we will
Yeah.
again going forward.
Yeah.
That might bring it down, but I'm sorry, Andrew, go ahead,
Okay,
please.
I do think there's not an industry standard.
Okay.
There's not an industry standard. I do think there's not an industry standard. I do think a year is, playing it safe is a little better. One thing, when you have a big TIF plan that is generating lots of your money and a
Right.
big part of your revenue, and sometimes some communities have buildings that you can have a major demolition or something flips tax exempt. Having something in your reserve account can be a nice cushion to have.
Yeah.
I don't see any vulnerabilities with St. Joe in that exact scenario, but a lot of DDAs, they'll often get in the trouble of having too much in their reserves, and then the other taxing units are kind of looking at them with a little bit of a raised eyebrow. That's
Right.
not for
I
you
think
all.
if we were a $1 million budget and you had $1 million in, capital or, anyway, if we were 100% at $1 million, eyebrows should be raised. On a $70,000 budget, but I was just curious if there was a standard or a target.
Anything else? Any other questions, comments? All right, can we get a motion to approve the financial report for this month? Thank you. Second, Robert. All right, any other discussion about that? All right.
This
all
looks
in-
really good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I don't know
Yeah.
how much work you put
Well,
on this,
no.
but this is great.
Ben did all the heavy lifting. I just did the talking.
Mhm.
No, this
So,
is great.
So good.
Yeah.
Also,
Also not a spreadsheet guy, so it's good to have this broken down.
it's, it's dangerous here that I am a spreadsheet guy, so that's a. All right, all in favor of the financial report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, okay. Carried. All right, monthly reports. All right, Kelly, you want to kind of walk us through some of this stuff? You got it?
Yes, not a whole lot has changed. Now we're kind of in the time where we're just maintaining right now. one thing to note, the wayfinding signs, they're in production, phase 2, been working with Holt Bossy. So if you remember, I feel like it's been years, since we talked about this thing called parking has kept me busy this summer. So the phase 2 wayfinding, the kiosks have maps on them. Those needed to be developed, which I thought was part of the pre-production. It wasn't, so I've been working with Holt Bossy on that. Let Dan say, I think we're close-ish
Yeah.
on that. Perfect. They look good. I've seen pictures of them in production. And so we're just working on that and some placements. So those obviously will not be in during season, but we're gonna get them in soon. There's also all the new welcome signs, which are really cool. Those are gonna be nice.
Mhm.
You know, I've seen the schematics. I can get those to you at the next meeting and show you. They should be in.
You're talking about like the big ones, like when you come into town.
Welcome to St.
Yeah.
Joseph, yep. The Broad Street sign, I did talk to Tim, the engineer, about that. We're still trying to figure out if it's best to put that in pre-MDOT.
Yeah.
I talked to Nick at Fairmont Sign, and there's a couple ways we can do that. We can produce it and they'll store it so that the cost is what it is now.
Yeah.
So that there's no damage, to it. That's just, we all kind of have some concerns about something happening to it during the
Sure.
construction phases,
Sure.
because not really knowing. I will bring that to you next month. Sorry, I flaked on it. It's
Yeah.
been a weird
Yeah.
summer. But he gave me some options on what we can do so that we can hold the cost steady on that big sign. Getting it produced and, fabricated, without
Yeah.
it possibly getting damaged in the process. Tim is not real keen on installing it, from an engineering standpoint. Chris, I don't know if you ever had a chance to.
I haven't seen any of that, I understand how, if it's close where it could be hit, then it might make sense not to. But
Yeah.
if it's set back or you can put a protection in front of it, then
Yeah.
you better get it in rather.
And that's, yeah, I didn't know if you had any conversation, so we'll talk. It's not gonna go in this year, obviously, so more to come on that.
I guess I don't see any reason not to fabricate it.
Right,
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And that's the
either
thing.
way, whether we decide to put it in or not,
right,
I mean, let's get it done and
Yep.
lock in the money and all that good stuff, huh?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and I would say if it did get installed, we would probably want to maybe figure out some way of a protective
Right,
cover or something during construction, because everything that's going to be in the air and all that, it could
that's my concern.
get funky.
Yeah,
I say
Yeah.
leave it to the people that do the building.
Yeah, let them
Right.
figure it
Just
out.
put it in and, hey, if you guys wreck the sign, you pay for it.
well.
I mean, that,
Yeah.
if somebody inadvertently hits it with a backhoe or,
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I always feel like that construction people know what they're doing 98% of the time, but it's a sign, we're gonna put it out. Anyway, that's my 2 cents worth.
Okay. Can I bring that to you next week, not next week, at the next meeting?
Sure, we
Yeah,
won't
I'll bring
be
the
here, but you
options
can
of
bring
what
it.
Fairmont said,
Sure.
and then, since it's not on this agenda, I'll bring that, options that they said. to the
Yep,
next
sure.
meeting, And then Chris, maybe you'll have a chance to look at stuff
Sounds good.
and we'll go from there. Okay. The only other real thing, the development agreement, with TRG for the Marquette is on tonight's agenda. So, we finally got that
Don't make eye
wrapped
contact.
up. So, yeah, things are moving on that.
Kelly, I'm back on
Yeah.
the sign thing. Money wise, we've got like 85 grand left in the capital. I mean, do we have the money look okay or?
Yeah, I think in order to do the, Broad Street sign, we'll pull a little bit out of the, fund
Fund
balance.
balance,
I mean, it
okay.
was very minimal. It was
Yep.
like, I don't know, like 5 grand or something.
Yep,
So, yeah, it's
Okay.
fine. But that's why I said that the wayfinding signs will wipe out the or the capital,
yes,
line, which was
that was the objective.
my
Right.
understanding that was
Yep.
all done before
Yep.
me. It was the point. That's what you wanted to do. So, yeah, but what a great project. I've gotten more compliments and heard such great things on those signs.
Yeah, they do look nice.
Yeah, look great.
I wish we would have gotten the new ones in, during season, but I mean, the welcome signs are great and,
Savor the compliments.
Yeah, right, right.
Yes.
Take them.
Yes, I'm excited to see these maps. Can you tell us a little bit more about them, Dan? Or whoever.
Kelly might be best to talk about the
Okay.
map
Yeah.
specifically. On this one, I haven't been in the meetings. so
Yeah,
I'll let you
sorry,
tell us.
we kind of stole them from St. Joe today, sorry.
It's
um,
based on that, yeah.
Yeah, they're based on the St. Joe Today maps.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we did, we paired Becky, sorry, I'm sorry, I put you on the spot. You're like, I don't know if they look.
Yeah, Becky knows.
Yeah, Becky knows. I've met with Becky a couple times from Holt, and they've been gracious enough to help us with it. They're very pared down from the St. Joe Today maps. We took all the businesses off. I tried to figure out how we could do this without constantly having to change them, right? So the
Yeah.
businesses changed downtown. So it's going to have landmarks, like the fountain, the library, I guess it's Monday morning carousel, all the main, highlights. And then it's on both sides
Mhm.
of the kiosk. So it's like, you are
Cool.
here. And then currently they have some walking distances at the top. So and I don't know if we're gonna keep that like 2 minutes to the fountain or whatever, because it's all walkability. So there's a couple of tweaks that, it's up to you guys, I guess, if you want to keep the walking distances. I don't know, it depends on how fast you walk.
Do you think, I mean,
I
to
probably don't walk
me,
as fast as some of y'all, but.
yeah, will someone make a decision to walk from point A to point B if that is on there or not on there? I think people
Probably
can
not,
easily
yeah.
look and say, oh, downtown is like
This
8
big,
square
yeah,
blocks.
Right,
It can't possibly take that long.
yeah.
Well,
And it would make it cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
know.
People cannot, as we know, people cannot read plans.
Yeah,
Right.
right, that's right.
We showed you that if
Yeah.
it's 2 minutes, I'm gonna walk. If it's 20 minutes, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore it gives us a chance to kind of communicate that it is local. And then in 8 blocks, it's only 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
Total,
everyone can
right,
walk 8
right,
blocks
right.
in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
And
and
I
it
think-
just
I
makes it
think that's right.
cleaner. Anytime you have a communication with too many messages.
Right, you have to keep it simple.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I feel like did I cut you off?
Well, I was just commenting that probably most of the walking times are gonna be the same, right? Because everything's so close, so
Yeah.
everything's
30
gonna say
seconds.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
2
Longer to read the map.
Yeah.
That it would to actually make the walk.
Maybe
They're-
we,
They're vibrant, obviously the lake and everything is on there, and
Sure.
it is just the downtown, so it's really
Mhm.
nice. I
Yeah,
think
I
that
maybe
you
we put the
trust-
walking distance between the kiosks. I think
Yeah,
that's
right.
good.
Kiosks on Lake, on the bluff, not on the bluff, but on Lake Boulevard, there's a couple downtown. So they're nicely placed.
Well, I think it's great. For whatever reason, this summer, more than any other summer I've ever lived downtown, I'm giving out directions a lot. So I think these maps will, which I'm happy to do, but I think these maps will be really helpful to
But
out of
I-
towners.
I'm sorry. I told this story to Emily right when parking started this summer. It was the first day I was downtown, and I was talking to these 3 lovely older ladies, and they were facing east. So I was facing the lake, and they were so confused. They're like, "Where's the lake at?" And I was like, "Lake Michigan?" And they said, "Yes." And I took the one and I spun her around, and I went.
Yeah,
if
if
you're
you're
not-
not,
there it
if
is.
you're
Wow.
not
Like,
familiar.
Okay.
We're in front of the Whitcomb, so it's not like we weren't right. And that was
Yeah,
so embarrassing. It
yeah.
was so funny. I was like, it's that big blue thing right there.
I don't think the
It was
map's gonna
lovely.
help that person.
No, that map is not gonna help
But-
it.
The 2 minutes
Everybody was- They were so embarrassed.
They're probably still laughing about that.
So we're
I-
walking distance on.
Yeah, right, that's right.
That needed a neon sign, I don't know, but it was funny. It
right.
was a great conversation starter, but.
What else you got there, Kelly?
On that one's pretty much. Moving to the retail activity, I really tried to clean this one up. There's a lot of stuff like we knew it's been open for a while, so it looks a little worse than it is. I took a lot of the who's been open for a while. If you didn't know from Alex's latest video, yours truly, Elizabeth, did move. They did not close.
Yeah.
Again,
great. Good
please
for them.
follow
That's
him on
great.
Facebook. That's a shameless plug for his videos. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
And I don't know who started all the drive-by videos in the downtown, but they're fabulous.
Oh, the what now?
Our downtown
I've seen them, yeah.
businesses have been doing these videos, like competing with each other, and I don't like,
I think you said.
they're just, They're great. Who started that, Alex? Was it Edit and
Those one, that was edited, yeah. And
Edit
then,
and
the
Airway?
barber, yeah, Airway, yeah.
They've
Yeah.
started these like,
Yep.
I don't know, they just
Where does it show up at? What,
Facebook.
Facebook?
And then
Oh.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah,
Then we
I
went full
love
of
it.
crepe, we did. We
Full
did
of Crepe
something, yeah.
and Fuzzy Butts are doing like video, I don't know.
Cool.
They're kind
War,
of doing these
prank war.
competition videos.
Positivity,
amongst
I love it.
That's
They're
great. That's
They're
great stuff.
So keep it up.
Mhm.
So yours truly did move. Now that opened up another spot.
Right.
The
Eight.
Library Hotel is officially open and serving, so their DDA liquor license went through.
Yes,
Yay.
I can
I'm so happy to hear that.
I can attest to that.
Yes.
Where?
Have you been, if you've not been in this, it is
Beautiful.
Really
Yeah.
incredible.
We haven't been there.
Yes, please go visit. Shannon did,
Very
email
cool.
me and ask.
Very
if
cool.
you
Was it
guys
the
wanted
library?
a tour, so
Yeah.
if you want a tour, I'm happy to
Yeah.
set that up.
It's a unique thing.
Yes.
Right over here. You look confused.
No, no, I'm
Oh,
listening.
okay.
No, that's my normal face, actually. I'm usually confused. I'm usually confused.
He has,
Ask my wife, she'll tell you.
I got you.
I'm
he has resting confusion face.
Okay, sorry, my apologies.
Is this, the gentleman, there's something that was gonna go in the old, like Mediterranean place that
That
went
is
by the
not
boards
happening.
now?
Yep,
'Cause I saw a For Lease sign in there now.
yep, so they are actively, asking, or that's actively being pursued on Facebook. I've seen them posting if anybody has, business ideas for that. Yeah, so again, this looks worse than it is. This really hasn't changed a whole lot.
Yep.
So
Are these vacancies all leases or are some of them for actual, like the properties are for sale?
300 Main is for sale. I think the Lee and Birch might be for sale. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check that, Robert.
It's one building though, isn't it?
Which
Isn't
one is that?
With the lemon,
Oh.
bait?
It's got Pink Lemonade and Lee and Birch.
That's one,
And
that's
there's an
one
upstairs
building,
that's
isn't
kinda like-
it? Isn't that a single
Yeah,
building?
it's a single building.
Yeah. Rentals up there, don't
It's not rental, it was more like office space.
they? Oh, good.
Oh, that's for those who have been here a long time,
Mhm.
that's the old HI's.
Yes, yes.
Which
Mhm.
Eyes.
was originally two buildings, and when it was HI's, they bought the building next door and opened it up.
Okay.
Can't
Just
believe
talking
I've
about
lived here
HI's
that
just to
long.
keep
I remember the last
Where
one I
Lee and Birch
remember
was?
is the pump room.
Where
the
Lee
pump
and
house.
Birch was?
Where the pump
yeah.
house was.
Yeah,
That was a burger place called HI's.
yeah, no, I'm familiar with HR, yeah.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
while it was HI's, the Henry was the owner, bought the building next door and doubled the
Opened it up,
space
yeah.
and opened up the wall between the two.
Ah. All right, what
Very-
else?
Very successful business until he stopped paying his
I do.
taxes.
That'll get you.
Get the
No.
train.
That'll get you.
IRS came and took it.
Oh, boy. All right.
They'll do
So
that.
I have passed this second sheet, page 23, on to some people that were asking about vacancies in the
Yep,
downtown.
sure.
It's come in
Good.
handy.
Yep. Yep.
And then on page 24, that's just, not a lot has really changed on that. Kind of our calendar, so to speak, loosely. So. Any questions on anything?
No.
25 is just for your notes, apparently. There's a blank page.
Yeah.
You need to print on there, this page intentionally left blank.
Yeah,
Correct,
right.
yes.
Those of us-
I don't have a question, but I'll just put a little plug. I just started doing a couple like business highlights, not necessarily downtown, but I mean, if anyone wanted to do a little collaborative, I think it'd be fun. I don't care. We could get creative. If you have your own marketing team, mine is just me, myself, so it's not the greatest quality of stuff, but if you want to do something like a little, I don't know, bourbon tasting or I don't know, it'd be kind of fun to just come in and highlight a business and just keep pumping that material out and
Love
get
it.
some publicity downtown.
Awesome.
So hit me up if you want to do it.
There you go.
Were you doing that on socials or?
Yeah, just my own personal, my mayor page. Like I did Zoe's Donuts and they,
Oh, I did see that,
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
Were you line dancing?
I was not, but I may this Friday. Yeah.
Love
I
it.
said that last time.
They keep saying
They
it.
keep
More
coming.
people come.
More people come.
All right, Kelly, do you want to go through these updates then? Downtown parking, Marquette, blah, blah, blah.
Yep, so, parking, we're in the home stretch of parking.
Yeah,
Good.
a few more weeks,
Because
yep,
we're talking about line dancing.
yep.
It's weirdly quiet in my world with parking. Emily and I.
Take it.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
For me. Other than the enforcement, I was writing notes last night, we had a couple enforcement hiccups with the software communicating where people were getting tickets where they had passes. I know, Alex, your parents and a couple commissioners may have gotten tickets. Sorry. We equally, ticket people. That has been, fixed, but it's been pretty smooth. I'm not
Yeah.
on wood.
Yeah,
If you own a downtown business or a part of a downtown business, you know that I email blast you once a week. I didn't get to it last week, but I've been trying to hit the businesses every week, just like, give me feedback, give me feedback, give me feedback. And really, I'm either not getting feedback or most of the feedback has been, it's not been bad.
Okay.
And I've actually even gotten some good feedback. So, I'm keeping notes on everything. We've tried to adjust, especially in the beginning if there are issues. But the numbers are fairly consistent. It was ramping up to the 4th of July and it's kind of, steady, it's leveled off is the term I guess I want to use, since then. So when I'm downtown, and I'm downtown a lot, there's always a couple open spaces, which is
Sure.
what we want.
Yeah.
which is the objective, right? Right.
Yes.
What format are you emailing out, like a newsletter? Because I've never gotten one.
You don't get it? Are you on my,
I mean, I'm assuming I am because I'm on your.
you should be on my, I'll
Email.
double check, yeah.
It's a note.
Unless they're going to
Maybe
your,
it's just going into,
maybe they're going to your
Spam.
spam.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually read my spam ones because I get a lot of.
It's
stuff
a
that
note
goes in
from
there.
Kelly. I get them.
Yeah.
I just.
Yeah,
I get 'em,
must
I
have
get
just
'em. I get 'em.
added because
I get 'em.
Well, actually, she added all the.
Yeah, I
DDA
added the
numbers.
entire DDA.
Yeah, okay, I'll.
Maybe I
look.
just didn't add you.
Uh-oh,
Okay.
I don't
nothing,
know, Chris wasn't getting my emails.
nothing
but he
malicious,
did.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't get it, just your updates.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get the updates. I don't-
Periodic.
well, it's the update, yeah, it's a weekly update,
I-
yeah. Mm.
Check
Okay,
it, because I have two emails, but I don't get it in either ones.
let's talk after the meeting, Deb, and
Okay.
I'll double check my list, sorry. They're usually pretty short unless there's a whole lot of activities, but I try to keep, if there's parking closures or something, that will affect the businesses, like chock block or something's going on where there's gonna be a road closure, I want the businesses to know so that they're prepared.
Very appreciated.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. And we're just trying to, we're going to be doing some sidewalk, replacement work. So I've asked engineering to communicate that with me or Public Works, whoever does that.
You had
so
that water issue.
The water
About-
issue,
yeah,
yeah, if there's
you know.
a water.
Good way to get it out, get the word out, yeah.
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 If I know something's gonna affect one of your businesses or something close to you, I want to try to give you a heads up. So-
One over by the Horizon Bank.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there.
That is, my understanding, that is not a city.
Oh, that's not a.
That's not a
I thought it was a
city line.
or something.
I could be wrong on that, but I think
Cause
that's,
it's been dug up and
Yeah.
turned off for a hot minute.
yeah, I can double check that, but anyways, with parking.
Hey, Kelly, do you think, is the idea that, at the end of the season now, when we've got all this information, will you get that parking group back together for a
Yep.
a
I think we'll get-
postmortem of sorts? Yeah.
I think we'll get the subgroup back together once or twice and just kind of, see how things go and.
Yep.
But overall, I mean, compared to last year, that's the biggest thing I've heard is this year's been much better than last year, obviously with the adjustments that were made and that we listened better. So, yeah, I hate to say I've been on a no news is good news from the businesses, but,
Yeah.
there's not been any lack of, if there's something wrong, they would tell me before. So,
I would think.
I'm asking them to tell me if things are wrong and they're not. So, Other than that, the Marquette, like I said, the development agreement is coming to commission tonight.
This is
It
for the
might-
commission approval of the development agreement, right?
Correct.
Right, yep,
Yep, commission will be, asked to look at that tonight. And then my team, the building department and the inspections department is meeting with them, ramping up for plans to come in, so, you know, things are moving forward with that. I don't know if you heard, and I probably should have emailed you, but thank you. Yeah, thank you. There was a little social media post about having well, it's gonna be the state or the world or the something.
Smallest park in the US.
Smallest park
Oh,
in the
yeah, I
US, which
saw
we
that.
can't because there already is one in some other
Portland.
state. But we decided to have a little fun and the city has decided to make a tiny green space out here in the Paralot, a tiny little park. Did we all see that?
I saw it.
Yeah. So,
Know where it was,
we
but-
teamed up with the St. Joe Benton Harbor Rotary, and there's this little weird patch of grass in the Paralot out in front of Mad Dog. And they are putting, we're putting a little free library on there, and we're getting a Adirondack chair, and there's been a social media,
If there's not the tiniest little new park sign
There
to
is
go
gonna
in
be a-
there,
well,
I'm gonna be so sad.
there
Not
is-
a big one,
there
just
is
a
a-
tiny little.
Deb, I promise you I've seen it.
Call
Seen it.
call
Cute.
Slightly something different.
The
than what it-
contest is ending, I believe it ended at
Last
midnight or
night.
something.
All right.
Last night.
Yeah. I've kind of not been a whole big part of that, but the sign is being made and we're gonna have a ribbon cutting at 4
Oh,
o'clock.
wow.
Wednesday.
Holy
Wednesday.
smokes.
So
Going on
please
fun.
come to that to unveil the
It's this
newest,
Wednesday?
this
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Okay.
I will get you all the invitation for
Wow.
that, but it's trying to have more fun.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
it's, if you look at it, I mean, it's like the size of that table, but
It was-
That's awesome.
That's fun. That's cool. All right.
so.
So it's a contest.
But it's gonna be taken down in the winter
Yeah.
because of past snow there.
Sure, sure.
I don't know what.
All right.
So that's,
Wayfinding.
Wayfinding we talked about, so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Where did this idea for this park thing come from? Just out of
Somebody
curiosity.
on social media said, like, saw this little patch of grass and was like, let's make this a park, or, you know.
Put it on that in and around St. Joe
Yeah.
page. She happens to work for me.
Ah, right.
So-
I
Okay.
knew that, but yeah.
Yeah, so she just was walking out to her car one day, took a picture of it and said, I propose we make this the smallest park in America. And for
Alright.
some reason, a lot of people respond.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
and we saw it and somebody, I don't know if Emily or, yes, one of the was like, let's do it. Why not? You know, so.
Well, and the difficulty I have with it is that erases the ability to get 20 more parking spaces in the appropriate design for that parking lot. So I hope we enjoy that little chair because it costs you 20 parking spaces.
It's not an official park. It's
It's
not like
Wait.
part of the Parks
In
Department.
We're gonna-
that
can undo
design
it.
that we've already
We can
approved?
undo it, yeah, when we do the lot.
It fits in the engineer's plan, but it doesn't maximize the ability to do more parking spaces in that space.
Okay, well,
Okay.
I
Alright.
didn't know that, but I would say that maybe we search for another place for a cute little park area.
Well,
It's
you
gonna
could-
Take up
you-
20 parking spots.
Yeah, once that work is engineered and done, we could have a contest to find the next
Yeah,
little
right, right.
mini park.
Right. We're gonna put we'll put the park on wheels. I
Could be
think
a-
is probably
yeah.
the idea.
Could be a rotating,
No, I mean.
rotating mini park.
Fair, fair comment.
Pop-up.
Fair comment.
It's a
Pop-up.
pop-up mini park.
Which-
It is, we are calling it a
Which
pop-up park. It's
implies
not-
temporary.
Yeah, we
right,
didn't,
that's right.
it's not even part of the actual parks.
System.
System
Right,
and the
right.
parks, we emailed the Parks Department and we're like, hey, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a fun thing we're doing, like,
Well,
haha.
we get to that lot, I'm sure there's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot of,
Well, and
Discussion
there's
about this.
nothing wrong with doing something now.
Sure,
Parking
sure.
lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
no,
Oh, Thankfully.
but it's a good point. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you know, something to look.
Yep.
Hey, I just have one thing before we move on to the next agenda item. I was hoping to hear today, and maybe you're not ready yet, but parking revenue.
Yes.
Are we at projection? Are you ready to share that information? When will we hear about that?
I'm not really ready to share like, you know, numbers per se yet, because I haven't really shared that with commission yet.
Okay.
We are not, we probably, well, I don't know if we'll be at projection just because it's hard to, we didn't really know what projection was gonna be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because we don't have a baseline year yet. This is our baseline year. That's everybody's like, where are we at? It's hard to tell because we didn't have last year.
Yeah, no comparison.
Yeah, we have no comparison.
Did we have a kind of some estimates, Kelly?
Well,
I
we had
mean,
an idea, but when we did that, it was before, we added a bunch more 30-minute spaces
Oh, yeah, right.
before.
Permits. Yep, right.
Okay, so we had, Brooke, and I didn't pull that number. Do you remember how many permits I said we have done?
Oh, yeah.
There's, I
don't
will
remember.
tell you, there's over
I
5.
thought you said 300.
Yeah,
I thought
there's
you told me
300 and some
This
$50.
is actually
per
a surprising
permit.
number. It was
There-
300 some. Yeah.
There are over 5,000 resident permits in the system right now. So that's 5,000 people that are not paying to park, which is great. I mean, that's the residents that have taken advantage of that. That's way more than I would have ever thought. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
But
So-
I'm still entering.
Hold on a
resident
second.
Maybe the follow-up question is, and I totally get that
Yeah.
it's early to, but maybe the follow-up question is just, if I remember, is it 80% of the parking revenue will go back into
Correct.
the
Right.
Yep.
PDA? So I guess
After all expenses are paid.
after all
Yeah.
expenses are paid,
80%
so
of the
then,
profit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
after the equipment. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which
We get the
probably
equipment.
won't
I'm
be
just
for a
thinking
couple
ahead
seasons.
to-
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
a
gonna
few
take
years.
us-
potential projects that we
Yeah.
can demonstrate
Mhm.
to our community, and like, at what point might we, I mean, maybe that's a couple of years down the road, I
It
don't
is,
know, but
it
that's
is.
what I'm
I
trying to,
Yeah.
I would say at this point, it'll be a couple years.
Yeah.
okay.
Down. There's revenue coming in. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not. There's definitely revenue coming in. But we're gonna pay some, that was the pay stations. We're gonna pay some pay stations off this year, no doubt. But as far as turning a profit, to any kind of revenue to fix a downtown road or something, it's gonna be a couple years.
What do
So
we do with all the extra equipment? Because the initial buy
Yep.
was for a much larger footprint of pay stations.
Stored it.
So one of them is currently down at the Silver Beach Center. They asked for one totally separate from our parking system. They are purchasing that from us. The other ones are currently at Public Works. They're not being used. We have talked possibly, the ones in the park system are aging out a little bit, with not Silver Beach, at Kiwanis and, Lions and Tuscarnia. I don't know if maybe we'll switch them out with them. We just
Do
didn't,
they have any like resale, like on the open market? Could we sell them back or?
we probably could. I have not talked to
Should
Tom
lose-
about
You
that.
should lose your shorts on that.
but yeah, they're not. What?
No, I was thinking that you'd probably lose your
You
shorts
can,
on
they
that.
depreciate,
but it's some
obviously,
revenue. I don't know. I mean.
But-
Look at it.
Not knowing,
Well, it's more than they get sitting in the garage.
Right,
Public
true,
Works.
true.
absolutely. But with how our sidewalks are right now, we placed as many as we
Yeah.
could.
Right.
Then you'll-
Oh, yeah, I'm not
Just
suggesting moving them,
requirement.
but
Right,
they were
right.
initially bought with a different
I'd probably hold on.
plan in mind.
Sure.
And so,
It would be nice if they could be utilized though in the other areas. so
Yeah.
that At least all the ones in our area are the
Yep.
same.
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
Because You go to Lions Park and
Yep.
the other parks. and
Yeah.
It's just familiar equipment to the.
Eh, And they are similar. These are obviously newer. The difference is, though, I say ours, the downtown ones don't take cash. Whereas the ones in the beaches will just say, do take cash. So that's the only difference. It's a conversation we've just tossed around, like at some point, maybe we'll switch them out. But yeah, I see your point, Sue. Deb, sorry. I haven't seen you guys in so long. That they are just sitting there, so, but
Did you say, did I hear you right, that you said that 5,000 people applied for resident permits? Really?
52
Wow.
something.
Doesn't that blow you away? That the
How many
numbers-
residents?
I'm thrilled 5,000 residents are going downtown, I think.
Well, that's the next question. What's the utilization,
Yeah, I
right?
don't
I
know.
mean, we
They
probably,
don't have a way to know.
would you ever be able to figure that out? with
I
the license
think-
plate reader and
In
all that
theory.
stuff?
Yeah, that's something I can talk to Director Newbecker about to see
Be-
if we can pull that from car 9.
It'd be
and
very
see.
interesting
Yeah.
to, you know,
No,
0.0001% or
I think it's,
maybe.
I think it's great if they're, you look at the number of people, those are the residents that are getting the parks passes or the beach passes. And we put them in. Sorry, I
Yep.
just got the email with the list this
Yep.
morning.
Yeah, yeah.
We
yeah,
enter 'em every
yeah,
morning,
Interesting.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge portion of our community, so that.
Yeah.
Volume, but I think that too, I think we should have sold a lot more passes. Of the $50 passes. I'm just curious if we would have had, it's coming from a different industry, if we would have, considered a lower rate, if we could have doubled, tripled that amount. For the season pass, it
Yeah.
might be something we want to consider in the future.
What do you, Kelly, what do we think? 300 and some of the $50 passes? I thought that was a number you told me. So-
Yeah.
I think it was around 300. I'll have to double check. I was
Yeah, yeah.
floored that we sold that many, honestly, Kelly.
Yeah.
That was just, I had no idea what to
Yeah.
expect with that, but,
Yeah, what's the payback on three?
I think we learned a lot.
Yeah, sure.
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 This was our learning year. This is our baseline.
That's
year.
the whole idea, right? That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
so we'll
All right.
see.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll move on here to, new business. So the first item here, let me, Kelly, I'll let you talk about this some more, but let me make a comment on this. So I asked Kelly to put this on the agenda. As you know, this is our initial fiscal year of getting TIF revenues. I think as we discussed previously, it'll start out relatively small. I was trying to think of the budget number. Was it 17K or something like that? No, not
I
that big.
think I think Ben put in like $8,000.
8,000. Maybe it was 7. It was maybe 7 or 8. Okay.
That's.
So obviously, this is going to start out small, but over time, this can grow. And as we get more development and depending on how the tax situation goes with those, this number can get fairly significant over time. So the idea here was on this, just to have a bit of a discussion about how we might potentially use those funds, recognizing that they're going to start out small, but over time they'll grow. Kelly's put some notes here about business grants or sidewalk amenities or, public art or what have you. So I don't know, I'm interested in what the board thinks about potential uses for these monies, recognizing that in 12 months, we're not gonna be sitting on $1 million, right? So, we gotta think of ideas that give us the biggest bang for a small buck, I guess, is maybe the way to think about it.
And we're looking at somewhere in the area of 8,000?
Yeah, roughly.
initial-
I mean,
initial year,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I did throw in your TIF development plan. Just kind of that's your guideline. Just that's what was
Yes.
approved. And when Tom and I met last week, I don't remember who brought it up. The beach chair for Silver Beach. Who was that? Was that you? Somebody brought up buying a chair for,
Oh, that was that ADA.
I sent an email with.
Oh.
that.
okay,
Handicap.
It
stuff
was
like,
in and around St. Joe or something.
yeah, I mean, stuff like that, but, Tom had asked me to, bring that up and stuff like that, and I don't know, where you want with that, but, just keep in mind, there's a little bit of guidelines, but these are things you need to think about, because that money will need to be, spent, but, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, the 7,000, I know
Whatever,
we're
yeah.
sort of doing a swag there, but, is, for one full year.
That'll be your
Right.
TIF cap.
And when roughly would that money come to
Comes in?
us? Roughly.
Just bring your taxes.
Yeah.
Summer taxes,
double
probably.
check.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
be, no, it's fine. So in other words.
So it'll be
we-
about 12 months from now. Is it approximately?
So it's a year away. We think we'll have about 7,000-ish. Here's where I'm headed with it, which is that, while 7,000 is 10% more, which is nothing to sneeze at, of our current budget, you can't get lunch for,
Yeah,
like
right.
in terms of
Right,
any
right,
sort of
right.
improvement. And while I like the idea of demonstrating that we're doing something. My own view is, let's wait a couple of years until it's 25,000 and then we can buy some, one block's worth of amenity. I don't know what that is, but 7,000 is such a small number in the scheme of being able to demonstrate actually doing something. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, obviously, you need something of substance to be able to do something. I look back at this budget that we put together and it looks like 8,900 is the number.
Yeah.
Anyway, same, the argument's the same.
Right,
but,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. Keep in mind, the number should grow over time as the assessments grow.
Yeah.
The number gets bigger. In 2 or 3 years, you're right. I think we start to get to critical mass and we can do something. But I guess at this juncture, I was just interested in what people are thinking in terms of what could be a potential utilization here, some type of incentives, programming. I mean, I think we have a lot of leeway. Kelly's provided the details of usage, but it's pretty broad, I guess I would say. As
And
long as
forgive me if I was a wet blanket.
No,
That was not my
it's okay.
intent.
No, I get it. You got to be practical about it too. I mean, if we go out and spend $100 on something, what's the impact, right? So I think we do want to demonstrate that, we put this program in place with the objective of utilizing those funds to enhance the downtown in some fashion, whether it's programming or something physical or an incentive or I don't know. Andrew, you're shaking your head. What do you think about all this?
Well, I can just add a couple quick thoughts. I mean, it's great that the plan was included. Remember, that is what you're allowed to use it on. It was written very broadly.
Yes.
So I can't imagine there's much that would be suggested that doesn't fit within it. You do have to remember too, that I don't know what the discussion was on Silver Beach, but if the money is generated within TIF plan, it has to be invested within the district. So I don't believe the beach is within that. As I think it's great to use that modest, conservative projection as well. If that's, I don't know how we base that. If it's on a 1% growth rate after a year or two, you'll probably have a sense if that's the right projection, or if you're getting 2x or 3x that. There are places that even do stuff like bond based on future. They can borrow against
Future revenue.
revenue.
Sure,
So.
sure.
I think getting a sense over the first few years of what that looks like is going to be important. There will be properties that exchange hands and uncapped. There will be, someone may do $1 million of improvements to a building and that will have a big impact. Projects like the Marquette, that growth for that will go to the Brownfield Authority to pay back expenses for, I don't know what the development agreement, 17 years. But in year 18, the DDA is suddenly going to have serious resources to do work. And 18 years seems like a long time. And I'm assuming.
Well,
most
for
of us
me,
won't be in
it
this
is,
room.
Andrew, 18 years.
But that's transformational stuff. So it was absolutely the right thing to do to put this in place. It will be more than $8,900 a year. Maybe this year, certainly very soon.
Well,
Yeah, at this point it's just more conjecture, but it's a good idea to get some plans,
think about it.
some considerations to be made.
Sorry, Robert. You can set that aside. It can't be kept as, a slush fund. It just has to go to support stuff in the plan. So if you decide that, hey, 3 years from now, we want to do all the streetscape on one block, that's totally fine and allowable under the act and your plan. So if you don't feel like just a little bit of pixie dust each year is the right approach and you want to put a little bit aside for something bigger, totally appropriate.
Andrew, does the money that gets accumulated here, does it, I assume it can't be used for normal operating expenses, or is there?
It can. I mean,
It
I
could.
believe
If
in the
push
plan.
came to shove, it could be, right?
I believe in the plan, administrative costs are an
Okay.
allowable use.
Okay.
So
mean,
paying
I
for
think-
staff, paying
yeah.
for supplies, things like that.
Sure. I mean, I think generally, I look at this as something, how do we do something incremental, right? How do we do something extra, to your
We've talked at so many meetings I've been at about low-hanging fruit and making immediate, visible impact on the community that residents see you know, their tax dollars and their money going to something that they want. Maybe it's, you know, public art or new trash cans or whatever. I mean, I would love to be able to do great, big, huge, impactful things, but I've been to 100 meetings where we talk about, let's at least, especially when the revenue for a year is, let's say 10 grand,
Sure,
you
sure.
know, a low amount, we can still do something visible with that.
Yeah.
And then the thing this city does so badly, I feel like, is they never stand up and cheer for like the good stuff they do. They never take credit publicly. You know, we got beat to death last year over paid parking by, you know, by the media, by the public, by our downtown business owners.
Sure.
They piled on hard about what a crap job we all did. And when we do good stuff like the signs, you know, we might do one tiny little vow, but we should be shouting that from the rooftops, you know, I mean, and pick something like a public, you know, do 2 murals in an alley or something,
Sure.
or some other public art. Tammy is probably much better at, I'm not saying bring back the fiberglass animals or whatever, but there's other places, and this town is very art centered anyway, so bring back some small stuff that next summer, here it is, look what we did, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I guess I tend to agree with that. I mean, maybe it's a combination of a lot of little small things have a bigger impact, right? I mean, over time. So
Right.
the idea here is, I mean, I think the reason we threw this on here was to get that thinking going, because the money's gonna come. You know, whatever it's 8 grand or 10 grand or whatever, we kind of have some reasonable idea what it is. And we ought to be thinking, and I think that's a good target for next summer. We're gonna do,
And no matter how
Whatever.
many times we
Right.
say, the TIF plan didn't raise anybody's taxes, people think their taxes
Yeah,
are too
right.
high,
Yeah, of
and they
course.
think the city's greedy, and they think we're wasteful with their money. I mean, look at the parking meter. I know we moved past this already, but the parking committee spent 2 or 3 years, this DDA spent 2 or 3 years, and we spent a lot of actual money hiring professionals and hundreds of hours of our time developing what we thought was the best plan for this city. And, you know, we didn't just pull that out of our, you know, backside at the last second. That was done with hundreds of hours of work and consultation with experts. And I will be the first to say, we did a really poor job rolling it out, but that doesn't negate the fact that it was a solid plan, and this committee recommended to the city, and we purchased hundreds of $1,000s worth of equipment that is now sitting in a garage and might not ever be utilized, or that money never recouped, because people got mad, and the people who are elected, and I get it, made decisions that said, oh, we'll scale it back to 90% of what it was, or what it was meant to be. But we already spent the money on it.
Sure,
And so
sure.
we need to do, in conjunction with our city commissioners, a better job of, if we're gonna spend a couple $100,000, like everybody's understands, like, you can't just change your mind 12 weeks later or 4 weeks later because some people were mad. I mean, that's not how leadership and, you know, being responsible stewards of tax dollars works. You don't just, and like yo-yo around.
I mean,
I mean, I know that's what we do now.
No, I don't disagree. I think, relative to this issue on the TIF money, I think it's, you know, it's worth a conversation, right? So I don't know, timing, we probably ought to get maybe a little bit better idea on
Well,
timing, Kelly, on this whole thing, huh?
we have talked about this constantly, and I've asked you guys, you know, I just want you to have some ideas in mind, because we have, you know, some of you want to hold on to it and do big projects, and some of you want to do small projects. You know, is there a happy medium, or maybe we put some of it away and then you have some smaller ideas, whether it's bike racks or benches, or, you know, some of the downtown benches are getting a little funky. But you know, like whatever you do, like this is, I think, Tom and I, when we talk about this in our meetings, you know, just start to think about this. The money's not here yet, but let's try to have some sort of plan in mind. That's why I wanted to get this, the development, sorry, play on the front of you again. Let's maybe do some low hanging fruit and some bigger ideas. You know, maybe you want to do awning grants, or just, you know, brainstorm, or maybe some of this stuff, start
Yep.
thinking about
You
it.
know,
Please, I'm
Yeah,
asking.
go ahead.
I was really happy to see business grants as your top thing. What I've been kind of thinking about, over the last 6 months, year is, you know, with this MDOT project and then the Marquette project and the construction sites and all that and the rerouting of traffic, it's going to be really difficult on our downtown retailers. And so my thought was, could we find a pool of money? And that's why I asked about when that parking revenue and all that, so that we could offer another grant cycle. And maybe it makes sense, and you guys speak to it that have stores and stuff downtown, but you know, maybe we offer a grant cycle during that rough construct, like maybe that's a good time to get the exterior of your business with, whether it's an awning grant or whatever it is. And so I was trying to figure out a way that we could offer something to our retailers during this time period. And I don't know with either what money we have in our existing, it doesn't, we don't, I mean, if we're already projected almost 100%, I don't know, but, or if there's additional grants we could go after so that we could offer a cycle like we did, has it been 3 years now that we did the facade grant, 3-4 years? I've been trying to figure out a way we could get back to that type of a benefit for our downtown.
That's in kind of the next agenda item too, so,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good idea. I mean, utilization for something like that, I think could be impactful. You're right. I mean, when you think about, starting, the gun's gonna go off here in 27, maybe late 26, and there's gonna be a lot of action. Positive, but there's gonna be a period of time, about a 2-year plus period of time where it's gonna be messy.
Well, we're
Messy,
gonna have a
right?
fresh new Main Street.
Yep.
Great time to have fresh new, all the streetscape
Amenities
stuff,
or
the benches
whatever.
and the
Yes, right.
garbage.
That's right.
We
Yeah,
all know how
yeah.
expensive they are now.
Yes,
That's it, and that's a great segue into the focus that we should probably redirect ourselves to as it relates to what we do with this money. MDOT is going through, okay? We also are preparing a plan. We have this, current on it, but we have the landscape components that we're paying for, the city's paying for, that's part of that. The state's gonna pay for some of it. We're gonna have to pay for the other parts of it. We need to have the plan finished. We need to get the communication, with our landscape architect. We need to make sure that the parking plan and lack of parking and or the driveways are gonna be closed off and not used on Main Street. And all that stuff is communicated well, because the last plan I saw still had entrances into parking lots that didn't exist. The Sauer and Sauer attorney property next to mine has 2 driveways onto Main Street. Well, with the new plan, those all get closed. I'm not so sure they're really aware of that, even though that is the appropriate thing to do. I don't have any, I have parking on Main Street, which I'll lose for a beautification of the walkway, and I'm 100% in view of it. But the point to focus on is that those are the decisions that we've already made, okay? And so therefore, before we start looking for other additional things to do you know how much money that's gonna, we haven't been kept up to date in terms of how much extra money, potential extra improvements or amenities that we might want as part of that, which is not gonna be paid for by the state.
Right.
That's where we should spend our money first, if we
Sure.
get any benefit from these types of things, because it'll be more than $7,000.
I think,
But rather than having a cheap bench, we've had this conversation before, rather than having a cheap bench, let's buy the right bench.
Hmm.
And again, we still have yet to have the consultants, give us that family of furniture that's supposed to give us the trash and the seats and the lights and the this and that, put together that whole family. We've had this conversation before, but all of those things, again, the time is drawing short. They're getting close to
Sure.
Finalizing those plans, but more importantly, the city needs time to find out what more do we want to do on that major investment by the state that we want to enhance to make our town better forever.
Yeah.
And so, my recommendation in terms of, as Brian was saying, kind of hold the money for a while. It's not, that much, but let's focus it on something we've already made a decision and makes a big impact, and it's coming. We're not stopping Main Street.
Sure.
We don't have to spend our money on a better light or a better, reception. We don't have to spend our money on that.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of foolish not to, double our money by using some of other people's money at the same time.
I think we also, Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong, we have a grant on that too, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the question becomes, do we, I guess where are we on that whole design? I know you guys are having discussions with
Yeah,
MDOT constantly on this. so-
Yeah, the bench, trash receptacle and bike racks are all with MDOT right now, as well as the lighting that you chose.
Yeah.
So I'm doing some final, I have to get, the number to Rowe, who's the consultant. I just have to get that final number to them. So that's all, you guys chose that.
Can you
And
come
that's all.
back to us, with us next month with like recommendations, like stuff for, media projects, like how much we're gonna fall short, like what else do we need for the, part of it's the state's paying for, what would be, as city staff, as you guys are looking at numbers and you guys are much more in tune with the plans and stuff, what would be your recommendation to us about the best way to allocate some of this?
For MDOT or for downtown?
For downtown.
Oh, for downtown.
Outside of the grants.
Yeah, what, what
I-
would be
Yeah, so
the DDA's best use of it? Because you're much closer to what's going on and what's getting purchased and what might be getting overlooked. And, we're just coming together once a month and
I just need to know if you guys want benches for the downtown, I just need to know that. I mean, for outside of MDOT, I guess is that what you're saying, or I'm confused?
I'm saying staff has a better notion of what the priority should be. Like, I can think it's public art, you can think it's a benches, but like the staff is, you guys working on the big picture in the whole city and everything we're doing. What's our number one priority to replace? I mean, I know Greg was here and the benches, we can't get the parts anymore. I mean, I think they're
Right.
pretty high priority and stuff.
Well, and that's why when we started talking about, Andrew had said, I don't know, a year or so ago, when we picked the benches for MDOT, those should be the ones that as we
Right.
look to replace benches downtown, you have this conducive look.
Same,
So
sure.
you pick the, whatever they're called,
Right.
if we want to start replacing those, let's look at using some of the funds. They're lovely benches, by the way. And they asked
We
me
sat
to,
on them.
yeah, we sat on them. I know they're good. And they asked me to pick finishes, so I sent them back to landscape forms and I'm like, I don't know what these finishes are. This is what they want. Can you tell me what they are? Cause I'm not, whatever was in the picture. But I mean, I
But I
can
mean,
get,
are we gonna like put 2 new benches here and then leave these 4 old ones and then put 2 new ones, like, cause to me that looks weird.
oh, for sure.
But is that what
Yeah.
we're gonna do?
Minor
Go ahead, Dan.
observation, I'm relatively new
Yeah.
to the board. I think the thing for me that's kind of missing is like, what's our long-term vision for downtown? What do we want people to experience? What do we want to be known for? What do we want to invest in? It's like, I think we've all got a lot of great ideas for what to do with whatever money is available to us, but I hear people talk about vision for the city, but I think it's from everyone's different perspective. That's just my observation.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think something we need to start thinking about is like, how do we develop, if we don't already have it, and I apologize. if
No,
there's
no,
something
no, sure.
that
Mm.
Came before me, but what is our vision for downtown? What's our collective community vision for downtown? And then how do we prioritize putting money towards that? Because it seems like that becomes an easier discussion if like, arts is what we want to be putting the small incremental, revenue that's coming back in, great, then that's what we do. And we figure out how to do that. I just think right now we're just kind of.
That's a
And I
great
think-
segue for something I was gonna say, which is even like on the, this, whatever the amount is. We should probably start doing some surveys of the businesses within the DDA. To ask, what do you want? What would help your business? And, we could get somebody to do a couple of focus groups. I suspect Andrew could find somebody to, we pull together 4 or 5 meetings and, I don't know, that's one thought, but back to the DDA dollars. I've been a part of other organizations, nonprofits boards, where we make an agreement in the beginning when we start getting this kind of funding to put X amount aside. So my gut, if we chose to do that, 50% of it for the, until we have a corpus of money of X, 50% of it we're going to set aside. and, you know, for a bigger capital project, and then we spend the rest of it. But anyway, I think we ought to probably now start having some listening sessions with the DDA. I'm sorry, with downtown businesses.
yeah.
You know, and I know we've done that sort of thing in the past.
Go
I would
ahead,
also
Ann.
say that
Yeah.
it seems like we've identified like 3 buckets in this conversation. So in the immediate, we're considering supporting our downtown businesses directly because of the MDOT construction. We're considering what things are going to look a little shabby after the MDOT construction that are going to need a little help. And then we're talking about arts and culture as well, right? And I think Paul probably has some good input on what is needed for downtown events and festivals that could help improve those experiences as well. So I think like as a DDA member, I want to decide which of those buckets is most pressing and makes the most sense now, or is it a divvying, or what is the, you know, kind of adding on to what Deb and it's been said about, you know, the vision and planning, so.
I mean, I think that was the whole idea of this discussion, right? This is exactly this, you know, to kind of have this conversation about, you know, the potential utilization of funds. Go ahead, Andrew. I know you have.
I just wanted to remind everyone that, you know, St. Joe's lucky, you're grounded in having a really good plan, right? It was adopted 2020, so it's getting a little older, and
Long in
people
the
that
tooth,
gave
sure.
input on that maybe aren't forgetting or have forgotten that they did, but you know, the community has been heard from. You have an adopted plan that's still good, that's still relevant.
Right.
Doesn't go into great detail on where every bike rack should be, but there's good stuff in that. So that's something to look back to. And Kelly, I don't remember who did this, who the consultant was, but there were also some very good renderings and concepts done for Pleasant Street too. So
Right.
there's some visuals out there that
Right.
if the board thinks they're still relevant,
Right.
you don't have to, you know, reinvent the wheel,
Yeah.
do deep re-engagement with everyone, but
If
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
out there and it's.
I was
good.
gonna say, the city's, to answer your question, what is the vision? Maybe it needs to be revised because it was 6 years
But
ago.
you know, there was
But
a
we do have a
ton
master
of,
plan.
there's a ton of public input in that master visioning session that what Andrew's referring to. And there are some, if you look at that master plan, and it's quite lengthy,
Right.
there is some
Extensive.
good data in there. I do kind of hear what you're saying, because I had somebody ask me like, you know, like Saugatuck has their identity. Everybody has, like, is St. Joe, they're like, is it wine? Because you got all these wineries on State Street. Is it art? Is it, and that, like that, I can kind of see, like, we don't really have that. Or do we even want that? Is it just that we're a lake town? I don't know. But I've often thought that, you know, that level of direction, like, what's our identity here? You know, is it, maybe it's just the lake? I don't know, but
Maybe a
maybe
good
that would
place.
be helpful.
I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
Maybe a good place to start is, if that plan could be redistributed to the DDA.
The downtown vision master.
Yeah,
plan?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
We should revisit it. I mean, because
Yeah,
it
it's a
probably
long
still
time.
is.
It's on
mostly
the-
good.
It's still relevant.
Is
I
it
think
on
that's
the
something-
city
I think it's on the
website?
website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's on.
Why don't I send the link out to you guys?
Yeah, that'd be
Thank
great.
you.
For a refresher, yep.
I mean, I guess I'm thinking about this, so this is a good conversation. It's a very good conversation. I think a couple of things. One is on Main Street specifically, Kelly, again, I know you guys are having a lot of conversations with the state about this plan and who's paying for what and, you know, all this back and forth and stuff. I guess ultimately, will you come to us and say, hey, this is what kind of the plan is in terms of amenities on Main Street? You know, benches, lighting. I know we've picked out these things and what that all looks like, what the budget looks like, what the grant is. Do we got to kick in any money? I'm hoping the answer is no, but maybe we do. I mean, or maybe if we threw in another, as Chris suggests, another $10,000 or $20,000, we'd upgrade whatever.
Or 100, and again,
Yeah.
we're paying the consultant to work with MDOT to make sure our ideas are not lost in
Sure.
MDOT's put in 2 trees and 3 bushes.
Yeah, sure,
Right? And
sure.
so therefore,
Yeah.
at some point in time, and again, as the plans get closer, we should be able to see the plan that we paid for from our consultant in terms of where all the benches go, where all this goes.
Yeah.
How the family works, et cetera, et cetera. And so we need that sooner rather than later, because pretty soon the plan's gonna be set.
Yeah, true. So I don't know, Kelly, you have a better handle on the state of all that, no pun intended. So maybe next meeting or meeting after that, we could have something more substantive on that whole thing. Relative to the more general discussion about, TIF utilization and our vision, whatever, I think it's a good suggestion, get the master plan back in everybody's, refresh our memories about all that, and maybe at our next, thank you for raising the issue, have a conversation about that at our next.
It is really good bedtime reading.
It is, yeah. Cure for insomnia, somebody might say. That's right.
With the vision master plan, I think you'll be interested to see on some of it's actually been done.
Yeah, right. That's right.
You can kind of be like.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of it was one of the impetus behind the whole paid parking discussion. That was something that was recommended in that plan. I mean, it just, we didn't pull that we didn't pull it out of the
I thought we
air.
made it up last
I
summer.
was actually skimming it over a few months ago and
Anyway,
a lot of very relevant.
well,
stuff.
good conversation. I'm sure more to be had. Yes, Chris,
Make one
please.
last comment, which I've made before, as it relates to the map that you all got. I'd still like to continue to call everyone's attention to this corner, which is Market and Main Street. Our DDA boundary goes right through the middle of that building. And so I'm just wondering, this map's been old from years and years and years, and maybe
Yeah.
when the original boundary was set, the building wasn't there. The building's been there for at least the last 25 years, I think.
Okay.
I'd like to see whether, what the background on that is. The other thing I'd like to point out is that the historic hotel, which is now open and operating, is a wonderful job, very successful. If you haven't been to the Speakeasy,
Yep.
please go. The building portion of their lot is with the building of the library is within the district, but the parking lot that they own behind them in front of the church is not in the DDA district. But yet we have approved their plans and extended them money in terms of Oprah grants and different types of things we've done, the liquor license, et cetera, that Tom mentioned earlier. So I don't know why their lot's not in the DDA.
Sure.
Okay, so that's another thing that we should look at as we're doing all of this, housekeeping thing. And then the last thing is that, depending on how the lawsuit with the
Right.
the commercial industrial
Yep.
short-term
Yep.
rental on 520 is that, once that is resolved, that's another thing I think we should look at putting in the DDA, regardless of what the outcome.
Yeah, I don't know what the change in those borders. I don't know how difficult the thing that is. Andrew, you got any?
I would,
Insight
first
on
thing
it.
is I would want to go back and check the plan because the plan goes by parcel number. So the map, if the map is off, it's not off by much, but I would want to double check the plan
Okay.
first before thinking anything.
Is that the way it's specified? It's by parcel number by,
Has a whole listing.
yeah.
It's like 4 pages of
oh, wow.
600 parcels or
Oh, my
whatever it
gosh.
is
Wow. Okay.
that are listed in there. So
All
I
right.
think that's important to double check. It is a fairly intensive process to change the boundary. You have to go through the whole notification process with all the other taxing units, et cetera. It is not impossible. It just takes a little bit of time.
It was
So,
lengthy, because we did it while I was on the DDA when we absorbed the Whitcomb.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that didn't
All
used to
right.
be.
Well, good to know. I mean, I think it's something
Well,
worth
and
taking a look at.
I'm not saying the map's wrong. I'm
Sure.
assuming that it was drawn with the legal description, with the parcel. I'm just saying is that now is the time to maybe include a little bit.
Sure.
more and fix some of the glitches. And I don't know why they're glitches. I'm just showing you.
Sure. No, it's fair.
I have one more question. As a DDA member, how do I know what the MDOT project, like to Chris's point of like what needs to be added to that or what details are missing from that we want to be considering?
I think.
Well, I think that's his point. We need to get that from
Yeah,
the
I
state.
think-
From the city. That's what I'm
Kelly's
asking is
gonna-
how do we?
Yeah,
how do
MDOT
we-
has those and
Kelly's going to help us understand
we
that.
need those.
yeah.
That's so true. Because once that's set,
Yeah,
the
it's gonna
state's
be what it
gonna
is.
throw their
Yeah.
hands up and say, it's done.
Once it's done, anything we want to add is all on our side.
Yeah, right. That's right.
We want to put
That's
as
right.
much on their side as they can absorb.
Exactly.
It's all.
Anybody go to the public?
Yes.
meeting?
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
sent Jim to that meeting and he came home with paperwork, but it didn't have the level of detail that you're talking about. I mean, that was more about the, the streets and new lights and all that. So to what you're saying, like, is there a document? They've got to be getting close, if there's not one,
Yeah.
since we're going, it's almost go time on this project, that we can see those things. I mean, I didn't know about this, some of those driveways being blocked off on Main Street.
Well,
that's a game changer for those of us who have business.
Corridor, down the street. I mean, we've gone through it. We've spent more time looking at it, but we haven't gotten the feedback from the consultants yet in terms of proactively doing that.
Mhm.
I think, I have to say, I've gone to almost every one of those meetings. I think I've maybe missed one, and I've had the conversation with, I can't remember who the key contact is, but about this whole idea of what the build out looks like on Main Street. And when I say the build out, I don't mean the street and the curbs and all that. I mean the benches and the trees and all this kind of stuff. And I remember I've kind of asked this question multiple times. I said, well, what do you include in your budget? What do you include in your budget versus if we want to go further, that's kind of on your dime. And it's always been a little bit of a gray thing to me, gray area, because I've not ever seen anything. So Kelly, I guess what we're asking is, can we get more rigorous, I guess, on that look? What's it look like? What's it going to cost? What are they paying for? What are we paying for? What's the grant paying for? Are we short some money, that we may conceivably have to throw in? I don't know.
We don't know yet.
I don't know. So I think that's all we're asking. So we'll leave that in your capable hands. All right. Okay. Good. So I think just to kind of put a bow on this here, we'll get the master plan to everybody. Refresh your memory. I'm sure there's a few of us on the board have it memorized. That's not me, but
It's pretty voluminous.
There's
a lot there.
There's a lot there.
There's a lot there.
So let's review that maybe in advance of the next meeting. We can have a little bit of discussion about it at our next session, and maybe we even have to do something beyond that. But let's start there. All right. We've talked about Main Street member terms. Let me just make a comment on this. So in your package is a chart of all the members and when your term expires. The only reason I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention is there's been a bit of an adjustment in that process. Previously, if your term came up, they might just go back to you and say, hey, do you want to re-up for your term? Now, however, with the adjustment in the process, you actually have to reapply. Is that fair?
I mean, reapply, you fill out
A form.
an intent to reapply.
Yeah,
so to
right.
speak.
But I think the point is it's an open, so anybody could apply at that point. It's not like I don't want to use the word automatic, but I'll use automatic because I can't think of another word, but you know what I'm saying? So when your term comes up, you'd say, yeah, hey, I'm going to re-up, and they'd say, okay, good. Then you're the guy. What'll happen now is when your term comes up and you say, oh, I'm interested in continuing on, well, maybe 5 other people could apply for it as well. So it's kind of an open process, I guess, is what the point I wanted to make sure everybody understood. And then when you look at that chart, the kind of the middle column there tells you when your term expires. So just keep this in mind. That's all. It's just information.
What's the process
To know.
and time up?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Abby, our clerk, and how I looked at that and I was like, oh, Brian.
Yeah, you're
close.
first.
Abby, our
Halloween. Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Wear a costume,
Yeah.
right?
Abby, our clerk, will reach out to you.
Okay.
And then,
And I imagine simultaneously, Kelly, she'll post it then. She'll put it out on
I
the,
believe so.
post it so anybody could apply. So maybe nobody applies, and if you're inclined to
Including
come
me.
back. No, that's right. There's no, yeah. We don't have you shackled here, but sometimes that's helpful. But,
You won't get any more coffee.
No more coffee.
Just saying.
That's right.
Something to think
All
about.
right, right.
And nobody's ever found it
Wow.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
And then
know.
it's the council though, the city council
Yeah.
reappoints or
Because I
appoints. It's
had
not
to fill out
us.
that form. It seems like fairly
Yeah.
recently.
There's a committee that
Yeah.
does either interviews or
Right,
these
right.
applications. They make a recommendation to
Yeah,
the
I
city
couldn't remember
commission,
how
and then
it-
the commission
Yeah.
makes the final.
Commission.
Yeah.
I see, yeah.
So I think the thing to keep in mind are just
Yeah, okay.
understand what that process is and that it's not a
Slam dunk.
necessarily an automatic kind of thing. If 5 other people
Open
apply,
process is good.
an open process, and there might be an interviews, and
Sure.
all that good stuff. So anyway, all right. So we just wanted to make sure people understood that. All right, public comments, anybody? Anybody?
Form one line.
Am I, okay, right, 3
You'll all
minutes.
get a
Could
chance.
have a
turn.
visitor.
All right, board members, any comments from anybody?
Yeah.
Anybody for the good of the order?
I just, it's kind of just a question, and there's a couple of you in the room that might be able to answer this. I know that we're looking at, I'm saying we, the commission, the city is looking at some form of ordinance, if that's the right word, for bicycles, powered scooters on the sidewalks. Just kind of curious to know where we are in that. Any ideas?
I know that Director Becker was looking into that, and I'm not sure where we're at with that. I missed one of the meetings.
Okay.
When I was on vacation. I can check with them.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I know
sure-
it's not an easy,
Yeah.
you know,
It is.
it's, you
It's a tough
gotta,
one.
in fact, you and I have had a few discussions like, you know, if we're putting bike racks
Yeah.
on the sidewalk, well, you gotta roll the bike across, but you can't ride the bike, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you can't preclude, you don't
Gotcha.
want to preclude wheelchairs,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So I know it's not a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Having said that, I still, on Saturday at the farmer's market, I saw this family of three, you know, an adult and two children following on their bicycles, weaving in and out of, you know, and the children were like 10 years old, you know, weaving in and out of people.
Were they
And
electric?
I'm-
Electric?
No,
Electric
no,
or
No,
just
regular bikes.
bicycles.
Yeah,
But I'm more concerned about the electric scooters.
right, yep.
It's like
And
there's been a lot of those this summer.
yeah, and
on
I'm
the
I
sidewalks.
feel,
I'm
I don't know if
seeing
I'm now
every
more
day.
sensitive to it, but
No,
I'm,
I'm seeing a lot more.
and then
of
there's
it.
the guy one of the ones that I'm most concerned about is the guy that does the wheelies and
Yeah,
just
right.
Yeah.
loops around and
Mhm.
almost hits people all the
Yeah.
time. He makes it loops around the art right across from our shop and
Yeah.
drives me nuts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Andrew.
I have an unrelated public comment if I
Oh.
may.
Yeah, please.
I just want to encourage everyone, this is not in the city of St. Joseph, but Cornerstone Alliance in partnership with the city of Benton Harbor and the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission is doing a master planning process for the Riverview Drive corridor in Benton Harbor, along with downtown Benton Harbor. We've engaged with some grant dollars that we received from a donor. We've engaged Notre Dame's School of Architecture, specifically their Housing and Community Regeneration Initiative. Very excited about this. We've done a week of public engagement last week. Next week, there will be a 4-day design charrette that there will be 15 designers like furiously coming up with these plans
Ideas.
for those two
Sure.
districts. Very exciting. You don't need to be a Benton Harbor resident, right? If you
Right.
come to Benton Harbor, if you care about Benton Harbor and the shared area, please come Monday night, the 17th, Tuesday night, the 18th, and then Thursday night, the 20th will be the 3 sessions. So 5:30 to 7
Next week.
next week.
Okay.
This is hosted at 510 West Main, which is the former Mosaic Cafe and Thrift Store, right just
Yep.
past the roundabout.
Yep.
So Monday night, they will reveal their initial concepts for those areas.
All the designers are?
Yep, they'll
Okay.
be there, and then the public will give feedback. There will be another iteration on Tuesday night that's revealed, and then they'll have another full, 30 hours of studio time and work time, and then the final
Wow.
designs will be done.
Cool.
on-
Almost sounds like a
Great.
master chef competition.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
right,
cool
right.
the
Yeah,
way they
it sounds
do it.
pretty neat.
So, and then
Great.
once that's done, there's still months more of plan drafting and
Sure.
lots more that has to happen, but. would
Andrew,
encourage anyone to
that's,
come.
is there daytime separate meeting unrelated to that? Because I was approached,
You and I talked, I have something I still want to schedule with some stakeholders within downtown.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was approached to provide coffee and pastry for morning meetings at the same location on those same days.
Team's gonna be there all day.
Okay, so
Not yet. The
I was
public
like,
stuff's in the
wait a
evening.
minute. You're saying evening and this was a morning thing, so I just want to make sure, I could have waited till after to confirm
it's
that,
okay.
but it
We
just,
can talk.
it startled me. It just startled me is all.
510 is the address?
510 West Main.
Thank you.
That's the building that is, was originally a car dealership. It most recently was like a jujitsu center.
The other half of it. There's
The
actually
Yeah.
two buildings, but it's across from Michigan Works and.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Right
Right by the roundabout, right? the
yeah, right
building,
off, right on
to
the corner. of
What, what time Monday?
5:30 to 7, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. So thank you. I know this is not official business, but.
Yeah, that's
we are
okay.
one-
No
For the
problem.
betterment
No
of the
problem.
community.
No problem. That's good. Thank you. All right, anything else?
I just want to say thank you to the city, and I hope that you all had a pleasant art fair weekend. I know it's chaotic. We did work with the chamber to do Placer AI data this year, so that confirmed that we had 22,000 people over the course of the weekend. We got some other interesting statistics, like their average dwell time at the fair was 1 hour and 40 minutes. Median age was 36.6. So we do have that data, and if anybody's interested, I'm always happy to share it. But I know it's a big event and we're really pleased with it this year, and thank you all.
Were you not taking donations?
We were taking donations and we received
You
donations.
know, I was walking.
Right when
through
you
this-
entered, there was a beautiful
Right.
box that said donations on it. And then there was some
because
QR
before it
codes
seemed
on
like
many
it was-
signs.
Yes.
But it's not too late.
I was gonna say.
It's not too late. Our
No,
fiscal
I
year is still
understand.
going.
Well,
so.
okay, we'll take care of
I
that.
made mine.
But
Thank
I
you.
guess it
I
seemed more
appreciate it.
prevalent last year. I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
I think maybe our volunteers were more prevalent with it last year.
Yeah,
but-
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, but
Tammy
be-
was very involved in all that, and all the volunteers, I thought it was one of the best ones this year.
No, it's
Oh,
terrific.
thank you.
Well
The stuff-
organized, the nuances and the things you're adding, you're not resting on your laurels.
Well, during
Thank
that,
you.
I guess
Thank you.
it's tricky, I'm sure. The artists you bring in, there's something.
Juring's fabulous. The application opens soon for
Yeah, yeah.
next year's fair.
That's
So,
crazy.
yes, and we jury
Okay.
in February.
Very good. All right, with that, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Good.
Okay,
Thank
happy
you.
Monday.
Thank you
Yeah.
all. Thank you.
Oh, hopefully I'll see you tonight.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't rain. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be all right, at least for a little while.
Yeah.
At least get in one.
Well, either that or we had the most.